Warning, this podcast, website, and associated social media accounts are intended for audiences of legal drinking age. We do not advocate overconsumption or the abuse of alcohol. Never drink and drive, drink responsibly. And please remember to always take what we say with a grain of salt. After all, we are just some dudes with some brews.
We started out by crawling out from under the thumb of the man. The lovers of God with dad bods, just trying to feed our fam. Go sit right there and grab a beer, you know just what to do. Throw it back, get hammered, and listen to dudes and brews. All right, man. We'll go ahead and get started here. I've got, so you know that March 2nd, it's coming up here in the next week or so, is Texas Independence Day.
Did not know that.
You didn't? So it's funny because Lily asked me about this the other day. Mm-hmm. And I guess that she was learning this at school. And she said, well, if Independence Day is March 2nd, then why do we celebrate it on July 4th?
Good
and I'm
question.
like, well, I wonder if they're talking about a different Independence Day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they are. She just told me Independence Day. When she asked me the question, I go, I think United States Independence Day is July 4th.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, maybe they're talking about Texas Independence Day. We looked it up. It is. So it's cool that they're talking about that at school, Texas stuff.
Yeah.
But because of that, I went ahead and I did bring a Texas beer.
Nice.
We got to support Texas. So you want to go ahead and pull that out of the fridge here?
Yep. And I'm sure
we'll get started.
We probably drink about 85 to 90% Texas beers.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Texas born and raised over here.
That's because that's what's available, to be honest, and because they're good.
And because there's so many breweries.
Oh, yeah.
The
Dallas area is packed full of breweries.
So this is what you brought, huh? This jugga.
Yeah, so I went to a local tap room today called the Green Growler in Denison, Texas. So I got to give a shout out to the Green Growler. We're going to give a lot of shout outs today. So sorry that this is just shout outs, Phil.
Okay, shout out.
But shout out to the Green Growler. Basically, it's a tap room. You go in and you just get beer. They have 36 taps available.
Yep.
You can get them to go. You can drink there if you want to. But it's in a nice location called the Tri Incubator, which they have like a bunch of little tiny restaurants in this one building that you can just go and get beer from or get food from, I'm sorry. So I thought it was a cool idea. I'd never been to the Green Growler or I had only heard about it. So I said, hey, let's try something out. You want to pour me one?
I'm not very good at pouring out of this giant
Well, try it out.
honey pot.
So we're going to give another shout out to CJ's Coffee because they built a CJ's Coffee in Denison down the street across from the hospital. And that CJ's, they sell these growlers, and dude, you did a lot better on mine.
Yeah, well, because most of it was gone when it's full to the brim.
So they did these growlers. You buy these growlers, and it comes full of cold brew coffee. Now, first thing, are you a fan of cold brew coffee?
I haven't had a lot of it, but I'm not mad at it. Dude,
it is so good. I had never had a cold brew until then. It was $20 for the growler filled with cold brew coffee. If you buy the growler...
This whole thing was full of cold brew coffee,
yeah.
Huh?
And if you go back, because I bought the growler, you can go back and get the growler refilled for $10. So that's 64 ounces of coffee.
64 ounce?
Yeah. That's a lot of cold brew coffee.
Yes.
Dude, it's good. No. Sit here on the table.
We'll sit it up here.
Because I want to talk about this. So a couple of things here. Sit it here so everybody can see it.
Yes.
So this in particular beer is from a brand new brewery in Denison as well. So shout out CJ's, shout out the Green Growler, but we're actually going to be highlighting this brewery. This is a brewery called WTF, I just lost it.
Oh, man.
It's
while
not that's
you're
enough.
looking it up, we'll shout out to the Tri Incubator, too.
Oh, for sure.
Just
For
shout,
sure.
do all the shout outs.
Just shout them all out. We're going to be
Yeah.
like Oprah over here, just shouting everybody
Shout
out.
out to Winnie the Pooh for letting us have his honey pot. Shout out to the Gummy Bears. Remember that cartoon, Gummy Bears?
I know the song.
Bouncing here and bouncing everywhere.
Yeah.
Dude, they would chug out of one of these jugs and they'd start bouncing all over the place.
Get out of here.
Not joking.
So it is a brewery. It's called Say When. So Say When Brewing Company, which I think is funny because it's like, I don't know. It makes me think of like when somebody's coming over to your. It made me think when we're at like Olive Garden, like would you like cheese?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Say
when.
Say when. So it's like, hey
that
man,
Parmesan.
hey man, you want a beer? Say when.
Yes.
But they had a couple of different beers at the Green Growler. So the Green Growler is exclusive to the Say When, because Say When is so small. They've only been open for a month. They only have 3 beers out, and they're so small they don't even have a tap room.
Wow.
So the only way to get their brews is to go to the Green Growler.
They're already on Untapped.
Oh, are they?
Yep.
I'm pulling it up.
I
here.
just Googled it.
They have 3 beers on tap there at the Green Growler. The one that we got today, which is their IPA.
This is an IPA, huh?
Yep. They had another. They had a blonde.
Look at that! Look at that head, dude. It's so thick.
Dude, it looks good.
It's like ice cream.
So here they are. It's an oatmeal blonde ale. Alcohol content. What do you think?
It's hard to tell because it's just so different.
I'm thinking like 6% maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 5.5.
5.5. We'll see what it comes up to here in a minute.
Yeah, we can't look at the can. So does this place have cans or anything, or is it just on tap?
No, it's just on tap.
Yeah.
On tap only. And like I said, they're so small. They've only been open for a month.
It's like a macro brewery, then, is what they call them.
Yeah, like
It
super
depends
small.
on how much they brew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 903 is considered a micro.
Yeah, 903 is a micro for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, they only have these 3 beers in there. Like I said, they're so small they don't even have a tap room.
And they don't have a stout? Come on, you got to start out with a stout. You're not a real craft brewer if you ain't got something dark coming out.
Okay. So we're not real craft brewers, not at all.
Right.
But what did we try first? We tried a wheat beer. We did a few different wheats. We did a red ale.
But we've done like one of everything.
Well, we have
We
now.
haven't like mastered 3. We don't have 3 that we're like selling to the green growler.
Yeah, that's true.
We just brewed a bunch of crap.
That's
Just
true.
Keep brewing.
So if we look at color here, what are you looking at here? I'm thinking this is like a 7, maybe an 8.
Dude, that looks just like a 7.
Yeah, 7.
It's got that beautiful 7.
Dude, I like the clarity.
Yeah, it is got some nice clarity, especially for like what do you call it, lacing? That lacing would have made you think that it's like, kind of like a cloudy beer.
Right, that
But
has
to
some
have
of them
such
Cody floaties.
Yeah, no Cody floaties. Yeah. I'm
All
actually
right.
going to get a little bit more because I had so much head on mine.
Yeah, do that. So while you're doing that, I'll take a look and see what it says on the Untapped. See what this says. So, Untapped, it's a West Coast style IPA.
What did we determine
do
West
we
Coast
like
meant?
it? Yes, we do. Will you like it? We hope so. It's kind of a weird way
They
to...
said that?
That's what it says, yeah.
Oh, man, y'all need to be confident with your product.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Confidence, guys.
Yeah, come on now. If you ever want to get on that cannon line, we're talking about cannon lines and stuff before. If you ever want to get on that cannon line game, you got to be confident with your stuff.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Look at those heads on those, though, right out the tap. Not even out the honey jar.
Yeah, dude.
That's nice.
Dude,
whatever
I
they
kinda
do.
like
Is it
it.
like the lactose or something that they use?
I don't think
know.
there's lactose. So wouldn't that be considered a milkshake IPA?
I don't know. I guess I'm just using like my common knowledge of milk products and like milkshakes.
Get out of here.
Think like, oh, surely.
I don't know. So, like I said, I think it's good. It is unique. It's something that I normally don't drink when it comes to an IPA. I typically like a more fruity IPA rather than a floral or kind of piney. This one's more on the piney side of things. But I'm not mad at it. Coming in at 5.83% ABV with 75 IBUs.
I said 5.5.
Yeah, I was thinking like a 6, so we're right there. Right there. So I think it's good, dude. I'm not mad at it at all.
Nah. So I'm going to go, though, with the 2.25 on this one.
Oh, really? So it's not one of your favorites then?
Nah, I think it needs a little bit of work.
Okay.
It's not bad. I do enjoy it. I don't know if I would drink a whole 64 ounces of it.
Well, I bought it, so I definitely will. I would say I'm thinking more of like a 3.25. Honestly, I'm surprised that I like it as much as I do.
Yeah, it does grow on you, though. Like at first, I was nervous when I smelled it because it smelled like pennies. I'm not going to lie.
I think it tastes better the longer you let it age because I let it age for the few hours from when I bought it. At the brewery, I tasted it, and I swear when I smelt it, I smelt the spice, and I tasted the spice, but my mind was going towards, like, peppermint. And I know that's not it. Now that I try it now, I'm like, that's not it. Well, my palate was jacked up, I guess.
Do you know what this thing...
It's not that I just brushed my teeth, I promise.
This thing needs to get paired with a dry seasoned wing. Like, not a saucy wing. One of them, what do they call them? Dry rub?
Yeah, dry rub.
Dry rub meats. goes with this beer.
I think you're right.
Yes.
I think you're right.
Even an assortment of meats.
Give me some of that desert heat.
Yeah, desert heat. Ooh, cool it off with some of this pepper hitter, some of that penny pepper.
I think I think you're on to something.
Yeah.
Dang. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3.225. You're giving it a 2.25.
So is that like 2.75?
Yep, we'll meet in the middle at 2.75. That is correct.
All right.
So not too bad here. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about here is this in particular growler.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the glass growlers that you buy are going to have, they're going to be the exact same. They're going to have a twist on cap.
Yeah.
The twist on cap doesn't last very long as far as the carbonation.
Right.
You don't drink that thing within, I mean, honestly, it's good it's good for a couple of days, but if you open it, you got to drink it within the next 2 hours. Otherwise, it's going to be flat.
Mm-hmm.
With this is the first time I put a beer in it. We're going to see how long it lasts. So It lasted a few hours before we opened it. You could hear it pop.
It popped. Yeah, it popped.
So the carbonation was good. I hope this seals it a lot better and it lasts longer. So I'm going to try to drink it again tomorrow, and we're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, good idea.
But what do you think about this style growler with the swing top versus the screw top?
Oh, the swing top. I mean, dude, there's just something fun about popping it. And just, I mean, there's something satisfying about popping it.
It's like Pringles. Once you pop, the fun don't stop.
I'm not joking. I mean, unscrewing, come on. When you're popping something like that, it's just like it's a cool mechanism. And, and it's satisfying to just hear that snap. So
one of the reasons why I bought it, and I want to ask you to see if you think this is a good idea. Okay, and I'm going to give you some reasons why I think it might be and why it might not be.
All right.
So the last beer that we brewed, we put in swing top bottles, but they were specifically made for beer.
Okay, right.
Now, swing top, it was really easy. Didn't have to worry about caps and stuff. Yep, that's it.
Still got one right here.
Yeah. Swing top bottle.
Yep.
Same style. It popped really well. The carbonation was there.
Uh-huh.
I felt like it was guaranteed to seal correctly. You didn't have to worry about it finicking with it. So I thought it was a great idea. Since we review beers here on the show, I figured that we would try to condition or carbonate inside of this.
Yeah,
for 64 ounces. Now, the only thing that I've read is that you got to make sure the bottle is rated for that kind of pressure.
Oh, yeah, you don't want it to blow. That's a good, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Look at that neckline. That might be a little thin right there.
I can't tell.
I know. How can you tell if it's
I think you just have to trust somebody telling you that it's good for conditioning, like bottle conditioning. I think I'm just going to try it, put it in my garage, and if it explodes, it explodes.
I think maybe you should ask CJ's where they get these from. Where's the distributor?
Like the distributor? Okay.
Yeah, and just tell them because of what you're going to use it for, and you just want to make sure that it's good for that.
Okay. I might.
You know what I mean?
I might have to. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, or you can set yourself up with a freaking bomb in your garage. You can hear it just pop one night.
You're going to hear it explode and then go in there and there's going to be beer all over the place.
Dude, remember whenever we brewed that batch and it popped in my closet and it blew up? I was out of town and my wife sent me a picture.
Dude, what beer did we brew?
It was the fruit beer.
So maybe it was was that Rotten Peach?
I think it was the peach one, yeah.
Because so for those that don't know about brewing, when you brew a beer, you put a cap on it, it's called an airlock. What the airlock does is it basically allows the carbon the carbon dioxide, the CO2 to release from the beer, but doesn't allow anything into it.
Right.
So that you don't get any contaminants.
Yeah.
Well, if the pressure inside that is too much and the yeast is going crazy and super active, it creates up a lot of pressure and will pop a cork out, which is what it sounds like happened. It popped a cork out.
But busted a cork.
So what a lot of people will do is they'll do blow-off valves, which is basically getting that same cork, putting a tube in it, putting that tube into another bucket that has sanitizing solution in it.
Yeah, or even just a simple bowl with like a big plastic bowl.
Just something with sanitizing solution, so if air does get in, it's being sanitized first.
Yeah.
And you just let that vessel fill up with whatever it wants to fill up with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we didn't do that. It exploded in your
It blew up, dude. My closet stunk like beer for so long.
It smelled like beer, like bread.
It actually smelled good. I can remember it. And I remember the funniest thing was the only thing I was concerned about is we have to save this beer. So I remember you came over.
Yeah,
I was out of town. I called you.
Town.
I was like, told Charity, I'm like, Joe's coming over. He's got to rescue this beer in the closet. He's got to save it.
And I think I did that. I think I put a tube in it and put it into another bucket.
Did it. Yeah, you did the runoff. Yeah.
Did that blow off valve or blow off tube, whatever you call it.
Man.
You live and learn. But so it sounds like we should be able to do it with some beers. We may not do it with things that are going to have super active yeast. So things that are going to be super, super sweet, we may not want to do it inside one of these. But outside of that, I think it might be okay.
Yeah.
Like doing a stout or a porter might be okay, but like anything with fruit, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, stout or porter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's why I bought it, was because I liked the vessel. I thought it'd be good.
So how much did you pay for it? $20?
It cost me $20.
And it's $10 to fill?
With the cold brew coffee,
I might even just get one for that, dude, because cold brew coffee's good.
Dude, I never had cold brew until then, and it was the greatest thing I've ever had.
$10.
Hey, you fill it up with for $10. It'll last you a few days.
I've only had cold brew like at the home, like from the packages, the Starbucks packages.
Oh, okay.
And then you just mix it. I've never had actual from like
so it's like almost instant kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never had it from like an actual coffee place.
So, like I said, it was the first time for me to have it, and from what I understand, it's brewed differently than. So it's a cold brew. It's not iced coffee.
Right.
Iced coffee is just hot coffee poured over ice.
Well,
it's a cold brew, so it's brewed cold.
Because if you pour it over ice, it just melts the ice. But essentially, it's the same thing. It's just cooled hot coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
But they actually brew it. It's a different brewing process from what I understand. Now, I don't know how they brew it because I'm not that into coffee. But, like, it was legit, dude.
Yeah.
It's legit coffee. So, they got a brand new one over there by my house, kind of. So,
yeah. Have you ever brewed tea in the sun?
Yeah, I love doing sun tea. You just set a pitcher out in the sun. I love doing that.
I wonder if that's how you do a cold brew.
I want to say you actually brew it cold. Like the water's cold. You leave it. The whole process is cold.
It just probably takes longer.
I'm assuming so, but I don't. You know what? Quit the bro science. Let's just look it
you
up.
just put it in the fridge. You just make some coffee and a pitcher, and you put it in the fridge.
Well, there was a guy I used to go to church with that he would get cheesecloth, and he would get he had a 1 gallon like jar basically. And he'd basically just put coffee in a cheesecloth, leave it in there overnight.
Okay, yeah.
And then he would use that coffee all day. Or not all day, all week. He'd brew enough that he would be able to have coffee every day in the morning.
Nice. I bet that's what I'm thinking, though. Is something similar to that, where it just is soaking in water for a long period of time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I mean, he would do it overnight, so 10 to 12 hours, basically. And he said he loved it. And I'm like, dude, I've never had cold brew. I was wondering because he drank it all the time. But let's see here. That's exactly what it says. Yeah. Cold brew is brewed by soaking coffee beans cold or room temperature water for 12 hours minimum to extract sugars, oils, and caffeine. Iced coffee uses hot water to extract flavor.
Yep. So it's just hot water cooled down. I wonder if there's a medium and it's called sun brewed. You know what I mean?
Just leave it out in the
sun-brewed coffee.
sun.
It's cold at first. Gets a little heated in the sun. Pretty much lukewarm.
Yeah.
You kind of get the best of both worlds.
Well, this says that cold brew can be at room temperature.
Yeah, so it's almost like you get the best of both worlds. It's at room temperature, but then it gets a little warm from the sun.
Yeah. I mean, when you do the sun tea, it's best to do in the middle of summertime.
Yeah, when it gets that heat.
Where it does get a little bit of heat from the sun, yeah. Hey, just sit on your windowsill.
Yep.
I love doing that because it's set it and forget it, and then 15, 20 minutes later when you remember that it's there, you actually go stir it and add a little bit of sugar if you like to. But yeah, so so the vessel, I think it's great. I think it's a lot better than the screw top. If I do buy another glass growler, I'll buy this one. But I got another growler that's on the way that we have to review next. I'll let you know about that once it comes in. But we'll go ahead and move along here. We'll go ahead and play a few games. So,
Let's do it.
First one I've got here. So I know in the past you've done your pick it or skip it with your video games. I want to do a segment.
I think we just did it with movies, right?
Or with, I don't know why I said video games. I don't know what's on my mind. The spice is getting to me. I don't know. But you did it with movies.
Yep.
I want to mix it up a little bit. I want to do a new segment here, and I'm going to do it specifically with music. Okay. I'm going to do it with an in particular song or band that I listened to this week or month, whatever to call it. I'm going to call this musical indulgence.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you about a song that I heard recently. It just came out within the last couple of weeks. It's called The Price of Grace, and it's by a band called Convictions.
The Price of Grace sounds like the Lord's music. Am I right?
So Convictions is a Christian metal band.
Okay.
So they are considered new, or not new. They're considered metalcore.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they have a lot of electronics kind of in the background. So, like, they do mix a lot of things, ambient sounds in with their metal. They have a lot of breakdowns. The rhythm guitar usually pairs really well with, like, the bass drum, like stereotypical metalcore does.
Mm-hmm.
I heard this song and I said, oh, it's a pretty good song. But then they put out a lyric video with it. And honestly, by the end of this song, I'm crying.
Okay. Are we going to watch the whole video?
We're not going to be able to listen to it due to copyright. But I'm going to tell you about it. And I want everybody to go out there and check it out.
Okay.
We'll listen to it ourselves after this. And you know what? Let's just listen to it and we'll just edit it out.
Yeah.
Okay?
That way you get the tears, like if we're crying.
Dude, I'm telling you, this song hits hard what it's talking about. So let's go ahead and do a little reaction video here, if you want to call it that.
Basically, that's what they do on YouTube, so that's what we're doing.
Right, but they don't, not that we're monetized anyway, but they can't get monetized because of copyright stuff. But we'll go ahead and listen to this one here. I'll turn it up a little bit.
It's like a major motion picture. Oh, you're right. It does have that electronic sound.
The dude's voice is guttural, comes straight from the gut. Dude, it's so good. But listen to the lyrics. It's heavy, bro.
Yeah, this is
like
heavy.
Not just the music, but the lyrics.
So it sounds like so far it's about it's talking about someone's suicide or something, right? And they bolted a door.
Yep.
All right.
Dude, these cleans are so good.
I can't see a lot, there's no reside, I'm finding nothing. Filling empty bottles, switching myself sad. Smash my soul to pieces, shattered glass beneath my chest. Relish fills the void. Relish fills the void.
He's just trying to fill that void with whatever he can.
So what is the price of grace? Like the grace of leaving, it's graceful to himself to leave life?
Maybe. We can talk about it after.
All right.
We'll deep dive into it in a minute.
Yeah.
But you are meant to survive.
'Cause the feeling will never find me. So the way you left me, I hope the past will cross.
I never find peace with the way you left me.
'Cause the curse of day you
Yeah, I think I got it. What are you talking about?
I can see light, there's no sign, I'm finding nothing.
He's just like lost in darkness.
There's no sign, I'm finding nothing.
Hey man, I know you may not ever get the chance to hear this, but just wanted to tell you that I love you. One last time. I've never felt so alone. I don't know why you did it. Didn't you just say something? Why didn't you explain it? You can't even go back home because you're not there anymore. You're my brother. Never done anything for you. I miss you.
What happened to brothers forever? You said we'd grow old together. I'm reaching out to the heavens. Can you hear my voice? How can I live on knowing that this was your choice? I will carry your memory until the day that I die. Now, life.
Man,
Dang. So I definitely don't think that was the Lord's music, but
like it
Man.
hits super hard.
Yeah,
like the topic of conversation and whatnot. Like the end of it hits me harder than any of it.
yeah, dude, that's just sad. Like playing that voicemail, man.
Dude, it's not just that. Like, I feel like, so I've never lost anybody to suicide, so I can't kind of connect with that. But the last, what I'm going to call interlude, breakdown, outro, whatever you want to call it, he says, what happened to brothers forever? You
Right.
say we'd grow old together. I can relate that to anybody in my life that I've loved that's passed away.
Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, the majority of people that have passed away in my life were gone too soon. Like my mom, thought you were going to be here for a long time. I thought you were going to see my kids grow up.
So
And so I can relate to some of this stuff. I can't relate to the suicide piece, but
yeah,
go ahead.
So this is what I think this song's about, man. I was struggling at first being like, what's he talking about? The price of grace. So this is what I think this song's about. I think this is a song to himself from someone who lost a friend to suicide, and he's just wrestling with it himself. So when he says, I hope the price of grace was worth the gift of pain, he's saying the grace that he is showing his friend who killed himself. He's like, I'm showing you grace because what you did was selfish and it hurt me.
Right.
So I hope me being graceful is worth it because it's painful to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
And he says, because I never feel like I'll find peace with the way you left me. So this whole song is really about himself, where it seems like it's about his friend who killed himself.
Where he's just
it's
like, super
more about
angry.
how he's dealing with his friend who killed himself.
Oh, 100%.
Everything in here, it's like a song to himself.
Because
Man.
even when you look at verse 2 where it says, throwing empty bottles, drinking myself sick.
Yeah.
Okay. But then he says, smash my soul to pieces, you shattered glass beneath my chest. That's saying you broke my heart.
Yeah. Yeah, and malice fills the void.
Yeah.
So what is malice? Malice is like anger, or like I think it's like anger towards someone else.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I think he's like the intention or desire to do evil. So he's saying like, this is what's helping me. Or no, maybe he's saying his friend, malice fills the void. I don't know. Like his
No,
friend.
I'm thinking it's like evil anger fills the void of his friend being gone or his brother.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it has like a little bit of duality here. He's like, at the very beginning, he's saying that he's being graceful, but then he's saying that there's malice. So it's like this push and pull on how is he feeling? Is he pissed at his friend, or is he feeling sorrowful and understanding towards his friend? It sounds like he's leaning heavily on like he's just really wrestling with it and he's not happy.
100%. All
and
the
then
way
he plays
around.
the voicemail at the end of himself, right? So,
yeah, I mean that's
wow.
that's the way I'm seeing that. He's talking to his friend or his brother,
Yeah.
and he's like, I
Yeah.
don't know why you did it. He's just wrestling with the whole situation. So yeah, man, it's like super dark, but
Yeah, it's dark.
I like songs that get you in your feels,
Yeah.
and that's what this one does. And I mean, I don't know. Every time I hear it, it hits hard. It's really heavy. I like the breakdowns. Musically, it's really, really good. The way that they did it, but lyrically, I thought that they did an outstanding job of portraying someone's internal struggle with losing somebody that they love. Because I mean, that's what this is.
Yeah, it's an internal struggle for sure. Yeah. Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
hearing it for the first time, what did you think? I know you don't normally listen to the heavier stuff, but
No, I don't, but I do love just analyzing poetry, and I see the art in this piece. So yeah, I think it was a fun little thing to do. It's fun to read it and to know what they're saying, because usually whenever you're like showing me this kind of music, I'm like, I have no idea what just happened.
No, like
I get hit with something hard.
I'm not an idiot. I mean, when I show somebody something heavy when they don't listen to it normally, I usually will send a lyric video.
You're like, please know what they're saying.
Like one of our buddies hit me up and was like, "Hey man, can you create a YouTube like playlist for me?" So like I created a playlist of it's a wide array of music as far as it's all Christian based or faith based music, but it's a wide array of genres.
Right.
And the majority of the videos I picked were lyric videos. So just in case you wanted to have the lyrics as well.
Even if you can hear the lyrics, though, it's still better to know exactly
Right.
what is being said. Yeah,
Right.
I like lyric videos a lot.
So
Another thing that like really makes me appreciate YouTube, because they
Oh,
have
for
lyric
sure.
videos for every song out there.
For
Even
sure.
if it's not official, like that one was official. But
right. Even
but
if it's some
people,
guy that
fans.
used like what was that? It's Microsoft's their movie maker or
Oh yeah.
where they just have the scrolling lyrics that are typically
then-
off a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna
it's
say
okay.
even if the lyrics are a little wonk.
Well, no, not even if they're wrong. I'm saying like the timing's wrong.
Oh yeah. Sometimes the timing.
The
too.
timing's
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Hey, who cares? At least I know what they're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can appreciate it. So
Nice.
keep that stuff up. But I think I'm gonna do this once a month. See what song that month kind of struck a chord with me, and do a review for you. Or
Yeah,
do
let's do a review.
a reaction video for you.
Yeah.
Even if it's something I've heard a long time, we'll see if I can find something new each month. Depends on what people come out with. But if not, I'm gonna do one that you've never heard,
Dude, I like it.
because I listen
I'm
to a
not
lot
mad
of
at
music
that.
that you've never heard. So
Yep. Which, speaking of music that's new, did you hear NF's new song, or did you see his video?
I didn't see the video. I got an alert about him putting out new music because I have his stuff on iTunes.
Yeah.
I want to say it's called Clouds. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. So the song's all right. It's classic NF. It sounds a
yeah.
lot like NF, but the video is pretty cool. You should
Is
check
it?
it out
I'll have to
sometime.
check out
Dude,
the,
it's like they
video.
put some big money production into that video.
Oh, really?
It's legit.
I
It
mean-
has him like, he's doing that thing where he always just walks towards the camera.
Yeah, and he's wearing a tall tee.
Well, now he's upgraded from a tall tee to like a 3XL hoodie.
Oh man!
I know. And then in a beanie that is like swallowing his head. So he looks
So it kind of looks like a cholo.
he's got a bit of an acorn head look. But dude, the video is really cool, and it really, I can't say it's like something new. All of his videos are high production, but this one
yeah.
goes from like one scene to the next, and it like transitions, like somebody will like grab his shoulder, and then all of a sudden he's in a whole new scene, and he's doing that, and then
Oh, that sounds cool.
It's really cool, dude.
Okay.
Like I really appreciate the video.
Like when you said the high production value, I was like, therapy sessions got pretty good production
They
value.
all do, right?
How Can You Leave Us has pretty good production value.
There's one though where he appears in the middle of a highway, and then cars start swerving and wrecking, and it's like a 15-car pileup behind him, and
Oh,
he's just
geez.
rapping and walking through it, and they're like swerving around him and
Yeah.
wrecking.
Oh, that's kind of
So
cool.
it's legit.
Oh, I have to
yeah.
check that one out,
There's one
man.
where he appears in a house fire, and then he walks out of the house, and then he walks up to he walks up to the fire truck and then gets like a glass of water out of there, like grabs their cup, and he
Oh,
just
that's
doing
kinda
his
cool.
classic. It's a classic NF video.
Yeah,
but,
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
I think not. Now that I say that, I think I've only seen the 2 videos I just mentioned.
they were both high quality though.
Right.
Did you see the one where he was on the airplane? What was that one?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, he's on like a wrecked airplane.
If that was off his last album, I wasn't a big fan of it. The last one with like
before.
green lights or whatever.
Yeah.
It just I don't know what it was. It didn't hit me as Mansion and Therapy Sessions did.
I liked it. But
Anyway, you want to move into Plot or Not?
let's do it, man.
Sweet. So what do you got for me today?
All right. So you should have the picture if you want to pull it up. And this poster doesn't even give you much to work with. It doesn't have any text or anything, but it's called Swiss Army Man.
Okay. So let's take a look. 1 second.
Swiss Army Man.
So if we take a look at this photo here,
Yeah.
it has 2 guys sitting here. It looks like they're sitting on a hill, which is in front of like an ocean or lake. One guy looks kind of apathetic, beardy, kind of Paul Bunyan-y. The other guy just kind of looks sad.
Look at that second poster. Yeah, click on that one. That one's a better one. Because you're saying he looks sad, but...
If we look at this poster here,
yeah, go off of this one.
this doesn't look any better. It came out in the summertime. It's got Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, Harry Potter.
Yep. He was in a movie called Horns, I want to say as well.
Yep, and then that other dude's pretty famous too.
What does it say here? Your something seen in a movie. I can't read
It says
it.
you've never seen a movie like this.
Oh, okay. You've never
Just
seen a movie like this.
straight
Get the
up.
good eyes out. So based on the name of the movie called Swiss Army Man, I'm gonna guess it is about a guy that I'm gonna call a jack of all trades.
Okay.
He's a guy that's knows a lot about a lot of stuff, but is not very good at any of it. So he has a lot of knowledge on, let's just say as an example, cars and construction. And I'll even go as far as to say he knows a lot about the human brain, or he doesn't know a lot. He knows about the human brain. He just
You'll
doesn't.
even go as far as to say he knows a lot about the human brain.
No, I wouldn't say a lot. I would say because it looks like he's getting emotional, so it kind of reminds me of like,
Which one? Daniel Radcliffe is emotional?
no, just them being in the clouds. It makes me think of Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind.
Okay.
So it makes me think that they do get kind of psychological with it. And he knows a little bit about all of these subjects, but he doesn't know a tremendous amount. So you wouldn't call him an expert, but you would say he's more knowledgeable than the average person.
Okay.
What he does with that stuff, I would say, I mean, just like any film, he gets in sort of some debacle and finds a way out of it. I don't have specifics there, though.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff that you're saying that's pretty close, but I think just out of context.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this up on Rotten Tomatoes. And
I got it. I got it right here if you want me to read it while you pull it up.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay. So you know the first picture you said he looked like he was on a hill in front of the ocean?
Did ocean or a lake?
That
Yeah,
was
something
more
like
of like an island. It was just
Okay.
artistically demonstrating that they're the kings of this island, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
So it says, being stranded on a deserted island leaves young Hank, which is Paul Dano, bored, lonely, and without hope. So he's stranded, right, on an
Okay.
island. As a rope hangs around his neck, ironic, talking about suicide again, Hank prepares to end it all until he suddenly spots a man. Do you know who that man is? Harry Potter
Harry
himself,
Potter.
Daniel Radcliffe,
Okay.
laying by the shore. Unfortunately, he is dead. So he was dead that whole time. So I thought it was funny. You said he looked emotional.
Okay.
He's dead and quite flatulent.
Okay.
He farts a lot.
Oh, okay.
His dead body is just farting a lot. Like a lot.
Well, then he can't be dead if he's flatulent.
Oh, he's dead. Using the gassy body to his advantage, Hank miraculously makes it back to the mainland. However, he finds himself lost in the wilderness and dragging the talking corpse named Manny along for the adventure. So what he does is he has
This sounds so stupid.
dude, he has this dead body and he carries it around, and it's the Swiss Army man. He uses it for everything. Like, example, he pulls his arm back and uses it to chop logs. I think he rockets his way back by riding him while he's farting. I'm not even joking, dude. It's wild. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember the Flatulence was very heavy in it.
It came out in 2016, so it's been a
It's
little
actually
while.
pretty good, man. But I think it's just obviously he was hanging on his rope. You know what I mean? When he saw this,
Yeah.
he's on an island. It's what's reality? It's one of those movies where it's obviously was never reality the whole time, but you don't really know what was.
Right.
It's
Okay.
just wild.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
man,
then he
that
does
sounds
start
crazy.
talking to the dead body, though, and the dead body talks back. So
Makes
yeah.
me think that the body's not really dead, or if it's an figment of his imagination, and that's why he's talking.
Yeah. I mean,
So it does
you
get
got to
a
watch
little
the movie to
psychological.
determine. Yeah. You gotta
Okay.
Watch it. It's an adventure fantasy comedy. The Flatulence is the comedy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'll never watch it. It just doesn't sound appealing to me.
Dude, it's actually pretty good. But
Is it?
But it was wild. Where sometimes you're just like, what?
The heck is
I had no
this?
idea there was going to be a lot of farts and stuff in it until I watched it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So I've got one for you here. So we'll look and see if you like this one. So this one's called
Yeah. Let me see.
I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore. So hold on one
okay.
second. So I don't feel at home in this world anymore.
Okay, make it big. It looks like
What's this
Elijah
movie about?
Wood. Is that Kevin Spacey?
That's what it looks like.
Okay, so this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a group of bandits. They all got weapons of sorts. One of them's got a bag on her head. They're in a getaway car. This is a group of people who are on the run, misfits, and they are definitely doing some kind of evil robbery, murdering, something of the nature. The problem is Elijah Wood starts falling in love with that young lady in the back.
Okay.
And they decide that maybe this isn't the life for us, but it's not that easy to get out.
All right.
It's not. Kevin Spacey, if that's really him, makes it hard. He's kind of like the leader of the crew. So through their struggles, running from the police, fighting with each other as they're trying to figure out who's in charge and what's best for the relationship, Elijah Woods decides to break free at the end, leading to a bloody mess where he sacrifices himself for her.
Okay.
So that's the movie.
So I've never seen it.
Okay.
It sounds like something that would be good if Quentin Tarantino directed it. As in, it starts off really slow, but the 3/4 of the way through the film gets really intense and bloody.
Yeah, that last movie he did.
The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, I think that's the only movie that happened in. Every other movie of Tarantino's is... Well, no.
Think
Even
about
that
Reservoir
Crazy
Dogs.
8 was kind
Crazy
of
8.
slow, and then in the end it just picked up all
Yeah.
of a sudden.
It
Yeah,
just kinda picks up
he
towards the
did
end.
kind of go down that route the last couple movies, huh?
So let's
right.
take a look here. So I got to ask, where did you read that last synopsis from?
Well, sometimes on the movie info, right underneath, it'll have okay, scroll down, what to know, movie info right
Oh, right
there.
here. Okay, so it says,
sometimes there's more.
After being burglarized, a depressed woman
Okay.
and her obnoxious neighbor set out to find the thieves, but they soon find themselves up against a group of dangerous criminals.
Okay, so there was a group of dangerous criminals. There was some burglary going on. However, I think Melanie is the one. I thought her and Elijah Wood were on the crew together, when really Elijah Wood's on the crew. I don't know who's the crazy the neighbor.
Her obnoxious neighbor. I'm assuming that's Elijah Wood.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks like it would be Elijah Wood.
do you have IMDb?
We can look that one up as well.
IMDb has sometimes it has a lot more.
Yeah, just sometimes it's too much. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
I know. This movie actually might be something I'll check out. Look, it is. And they actually do. It's funny because I was pretty close with the story. The only difference is I thought those two were part of the crew. and that there's tension there, but they're actually not part of the crew.
Let's see what IMDb says. When in depressed, it says the exact same thing. So nothing.
Nothing new.
But what's funny is that this reminds me, like, immediately I thought about the TV show that Elijah Wood was in.
With the dog?
Yeah, what the heck is it called?
It's one word. I can't think of it.
Wilfred.
Wilfred, yeah.
Because Elijah Wood's character is depressed.
Right.
And he has, I wouldn't say an obnoxious neighbor,
The dog is the obnoxious neighbor.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could say that. And he's the only one that sees him as like a human in a dog suit.
Yeah.
Everybody else sees him as just a normal dog.
I watched a couple seasons of that.
It's so funny.
It was good, but then it got to where it was hard to endure.
Oh, yeah, it gets
like,
weird.
I'm just like, dude, come on, let's get to something here. It's just more of this dog making his life a living hell.
Right.
And after a while, it gets exhausting. I'm like, I want to see like something happen.
Right, where you're like 2 seasons in, you're like, okay, this is played out.
I
Let's
gave
have
up,
something
yeah.
come in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did the same thing, but at first it was hilarious.
It was good at first. I was like, oh, where's this gonna go? What's really happening? You know, there's a lot of mystery in it.
Right. I liked the like the psychological part of it,
Yeah.
where he's like, he sees him as somebody he talks to, as an actual human, while everybody else sees him as just some dumb dog. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think he was like a pothead dog too, wasn't he?
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
At
was like
one-
he was the opposite of Elijah Wood. So I always kind of wondered, is that the part of Elijah Wood that Elijah is like deep down holding in and suppressing, but wants to come out? Like I didn't know. I was hoping it would like show more of that and explain it, but I just couldn't stick it out.
I know that like I watched it for a while, and it got into things like the dog trying to convince Elijah Wood that certain people deserve to die, and Elijah Wood should go kill these people, but he doesn't want to, so the dog goes out and kills these people and starts
I think I saw that too.
framing Elijah Wood or framing other people. Yeah, it's like crazy stuff like that, which I go,
yeah.
oh man. It makes me wonder if like that's like Elijah Wood's alter ego. It's like a, I would say,
schizophrenic.
yeah, kind of like sport. No, I'm not gonna say spoiler alerts, but kind of like Fight Club,
Yeah.
where it's like two people in one.
Yeah.
But you see, yeah,
It seems like Fight Club.
yeah,
Yeah.
which makes it even better now that I think about it.
Yeah, but then you probably have to watch 7 seasons to finally get the end of Fight Club.
Right? Yeah,
No,
that's
we
true.
want to watch 2 hours and then get to the end.
It draws out too long.
TV shows, they're good like that because they're able to pack in so much character development.
Yeah.
But sometimes it takes so long where a movie misses the opportunity to get that character development, but you still get the bang for the buck at the end.
Right.
And these shows, man, I don't know what it is about them that sometimes I know what it is about them. They're successful, so they want to keep them going to keep
Right.
making money off of it.
All right, man. We're gonna go ahead and transition into another game here.
All right.
We're gonna do. It's similar to Start Bench Cut. I'm gonna call it. You can only choose one. Okay. I'm gonna show you 4 albums that happen to all come out in the same year. They all came out in 1994. You can only choose one. Which one do you choose?
Okay. So I'm
Okay.
thinking instead of you can only choose one, only one will survive.
Only
or,
one will
or
survive.
will remain or something like that.
Only
Yeah.
one will remain.
You're like, whatever the
Like-
next thing is.
Fight to the end.
Okay, yeah.
So these are the 4 albums we've got: Green
Okay.
Day, Dookie, Weezer's Blue Album,
Yep, good.
Soundgarden, Super Unknown, and Nirvana's Unplugged in New York.
Yeah, all 4 of them. I'm
So if
huge
you can
fans of.
only choose one, which one do you choose and why? Go.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to eliminate Green Day Dookie. I loved it. It was one of the first albums I ever bought.
Okay.
Literally, first albums I ever had. However, it doesn't stand the test of time. I'm not that big into like old Green Day punk rock. I'm not big into punk rock anymore at all.
Okay.
So Green Day, you're gone. The next one that's going to have to go is Soundgarden. Soundgarden, that's a good album. However, there are good songs on that album, but there are a lot of songs that I was not that big of a fan of. And it's another one that really doesn't stand the test of time when it comes to like albums I still listen to today. So that leaves it to Nirvana Unplugged and Weezer. Now, Weezer coming out hard with that My Name is Jonas, I'm Carrying the World. That album was super fun. However, that Nirvana Unplugged album is one of my favorite albums of all time. So when I saw the 4, I knew immediately right away it had to be Nirvana Unplugged in New York. And most of the songs they played weren't even their songs.
Okay. So is that why you liked it? Because they did unique covers, or what was so good about it?
Dude, that performance is awesome, man. I love every song on that. Every song that they played live. It was great.
So I'll have to. So to be honest, I've never listened to it. I know it is one of the most iconic unplugged that they put out. I haven't listened to it.
Well, it's also one of the last performances in Nirvana before Kurt Cobain's death.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I did
so
not
it's
realize
really
that.
up to his death. Like, it's
Okay.
one of the last recorded performances. So it's pretty iconic for that. Because even when you watch, like, their Kurt Cobain documentaries, like,
Yeah.
they show this, like, final thing.
Really?
And it was
Okay.
really, man, when you watch that performance, it was different than Nirvana. Kurt Cobain does not do, it's not his type of singing or music. He sang a lot of songs that was really outside of his vocal ability, but he just went with it. He didn't care if his voice was scratchy, sound like crap. You know what I mean? It was total rock and roll and a total grunge.
Because I will say 6 of these albums, or 6 of these songs were, you're right, they were covers.
Yeah, I told you. I mean, freaking the Meat Puppets. You know what I mean? They did Meat Puppet covers.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about the Meat Puppets, to be honest.
I don't either, but I know those songs from the Meat Puppets are great.
I'll have to check it out. I don't, like I said, I don't necessarily like Nirvana, but this might be something that might change my mind. I don't know.
Are you familiar with that David Bowie song? It's pretty famous.
The Man Who Stole the World. I think I've heard it before. Yeah, I'm not a
Nirvana's
huge...
version's way better than David Bowie's.
Really? So it's like Rage Against the Machine doing all those covers were so much better.
Yeah.
See, I look at this and I get why you would say this because you're a huge fan. You like the performance in general. But some of these other albums are hard to say no thanks to. Like if you look at Dookie by Green Day, it had Longview. Probably, and you can call me crazy, the bassist for Green Day, probably the best punk bassist out there. When it comes to punk and bass, he's probably the best. Longview's really good.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so good.
Yeah, it's good, man. I mean, that album got me into rock music at a very young age, so I can't discredit it. I love
Welcome
it.
to Paradise, Basket
Yeah.
Case, When I Come Around. I mean, it's just a really good album.
It's all
Now,
good.
I'm right there with you. As good as it is, I'm getting rid of it.
I'm not listening to it today.
Yeah. I'm getting rid of this Nirvana MTV Unplugged because, to be honest, I'm just not familiar with it.
Yeah.
I would have never looked it up because I'm not a huge fan of Nirvana.
Yeah, you're not a Nirvana
It
fan.
may change my mind if I go back and listen to it. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Dude, watch the live performance. Watch the actual episode of MTV Unplugged.
Yeah, I might enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah.
The Soundgarden, Super Unknown. This one brings me back because I remember listening to this when I was a kid because my brother was really into Soundgarden. So we listened to them a lot. So like Super Unknown, Head Down,
Fell
Black
on
Hole Sun.
Days. I fell on Spoon Man.
Spoon Man. I think it's about him doing drugs, right?
Yeah, now that you
I mean,
say
it makes
that,
sense, right?
I mean, yeah, heroin.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Like it's a good album, and I really, really like Chris Cornell's voice.
this is the finest Chris Cornell voice.
Like his voice is awesome.
I like his stuff. I love his Soundgarden or Audio Slave stuff.
Oh yeah.
But his voice in this album is like really refined. He was younger, but it wasn't too young. Like Temple of the Dog was good, and his voice in Temple of the Dog was good. But this album, it had the best Chris Cornell.
Yeah,
voice.
dude, it was off the charts. So I liked this one as well, but I gotta be honest, I'm going with Weezer the Blue album, dude.
That was my number 2, man.
And it's because pretty much every song here is good.
Great. I love
I mean, it starts out with My Name is Jonas. You've got Buddy Holly, Unknown, the Sweater song.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one of my favorite songs is the Sweater song. Surf Wax America,
Yep.
Say It Ain't So, Holiday. Man, the whole album is good, beginning to finish. It's a great album.
Yep.
And yeah, dude. So like when I had heard this album originally, I would have never guessed it came out in 94.
Yeah, man.
I would have never guessed.
You're bringing me back, man. These albums, like, I was young into music.
So in 94, you'd have been like 8 to 10, right around when these albums came out,
so I probably
right?
didn't listen to these the year they came out, but, like, would you say 94? I was born in 86. So how far?
So
That's
you'd have been 8, yeah.
So I probably started listening to music heavily when I was about 10. That's usually when kids get into 10,
Yeah,
10 to
10
12.
to 12, yeah.
This was the stuff I was listening to.
Right.
This is what got me into rock music, into music, period.
Yeah.
So this album, all 4 of these albums I listened to every song on them, like on repeat.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is. I just Weezer, I don't think of grunge. I think of like alternative rock.
Yeah.
Is what it makes me think of. Now they do have some songs that are grungy, kind of
it's
punky.
It's more poppy rock, like alternative
heavy
rock.
alternative, I guess you might call it.
Yeah.
But like I just would have never guessed when I first listened to Weezer. I would have never said, "Oh, this came out in the 90s."
Yeah.
I thought it came out early 2000s because this album sounds very much like the Green Album.
Yeah, their sound hasn't changed much.
Dude, but it's still good.
It's kind of like Cake. You listen to Cake's first album, you listen to their new stuff, sounds the same. It's
No,
Cake.
but so this is one of the things that I'll say is that like there are some bands that I really enjoy, like Breaking Benjamin or Chevelle, really that new metal, where all their stuff sounds the same, so much so that I could care less to listen to it.
Yeah.
Weezer, even though you get the same vibe, they mix it up a little bit.
I'm not to me. To me, I love this album. Their other stuff sounds too similar, and I'm just kind of like, yeah. If you had any other Weezer album on here, I'd probably be number 4.
So what I need you to do, you need to go look up. Actually, I'm going to do it right now.
You need to go find this album.
Well, because you were talking about, we talked about this on the last episode, but you like 80s music, right?
Yeah.
They did the Teal album, 100% covers, and it is gold.
What covers? Let me see these.
Africa by Toto. Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Sweet Dreams.
I do
Take
know
on
Everybody
Me.
Wants to. I have heard number 2 and number 3 on there. Even number 4, I have heard some of these.
They do Paranoid. They do Mr. Blue.
Wait, they do No Scrubs?
It's so good.
And Billie Jean?
They're so good.
Sold. This album's added.
The Teal album, dude.
This album is added to my iTunes immediately.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, their range is so good. And I saw, and this is what made me appreciate Weezer. I saw, like, some live video where they were, like, in Japan and how they kind of just toured Japan and, like, got real deep into the culture and then just played some music in front of some, like, at some venue there in Japan. And it just seemed like, real down-to-earth guys. I don't know. It just made me grow an additional appreciation for them. So, this looks like this episode happens to be all about music. But,
Yeah, no joke, right? Just having to work out that way.
yeah, so check out the Teal album if you haven't checked it out yet. But, man, I appreciate you joining me like you always do. Dude, I got to give another shout-out to these locals.
All of
here.
them.
All 15 of them. Shout-out to CJ's, the Green Growler. Give these guys right here the WTF, what are they called again? I gotta look. They're so
follow.
new, I forget about them. They're Say When Brewing Company. Give them a shout out. Give them a try. Go check them out at the Green Growler. We've only got a few beers available. Let's continue to support local. Hopefully they can continue making more additional brews. But yeah, man, make sure to follow us online at Untapped and Instagram at _Dudes and Brews. But we're out of here. We appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Dudes and Brews. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you're on. We're on there. We have a YouTube channel, Dudes and Brews. We would love if you would subscribe there as well. If you are subscribed and you want to help us out just a little more, unsubscribe and resubscribe again. It sounds funny and stupid and kind of obnoxious, all of the subscribing and resubscribing and stuff, but it helps in these little algorithms games for like climbing the charts, because again, we are organic and we are where we are because of you guys.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. Shout us out. We really do love it when you guys interact with us, when you add us, mention us, put us on your stories, tag us, all that fun stuff, all the stuff the kids are doing. We like grabbing that stuff and we put it up for you guys. So we appreciate you so much. Keep having fun, drinking them brews, hanging with them dudes. Tune in next week for another episode of Dudes and Brews.